And welcome back to the last segment of The Price of Business. I'm your host, Chris Kelso, and right now on air I've got a good friend of mine and a great business partner, Joel Orsak with Improve My Credit USA. Joe, how you doing?
I am doing absolutely wonderful.
You know, for all those who are listening first time, let us know a little about who you are and what you do.
Well, I'm the Director of Marketing for the officially now, third year in a row, consumer voted #1 credit repair company in Texas.
That is great. You know, one of the things right now, you know, with the new year starting, obviously a lot of people out there, the economy is thriving, especially here in Houston right now. A lot of activity going on. People are getting out there planning their year to buy a new home, to get into a new car, maybe to get a new job. Credit is extremely important, and it's extremely important, I tell everybody, to take advantage, especially at the beginning of a year, to sort of measure your goals out, and credit is going to play a big defining factor in what those goals are, and more importantly, how you can achieve them.
Yeah, absolutely. Credit is a critical component of your overall financial well-being, and knowing how it works, understanding the ways to best utilize it are critical. And kind of on that note, just to mention, we invested in some professional videos, hired a professional actor, the whole bit, spokesperson, to make 5 different videos that we now have up on our home site. They're just educational videos that answer questions about what a credit score is, how a credit score is determined, and just, you know, some frequently asked questions about what credit repair is, that kind of thing. So I would definitely encourage everybody to go to ImproveMyCreditUSA.com to watch those. There's no obligation or, you know, anything to just watch them. They're purely for information.
Now, you know, all our listeners out there who, let's say, are going through credit issues or might have credit issues, you know, I tell everybody is number one, the very first thing to understand where you stand today is to get engaged. And it's a very simple process, and let me know if I'm wrong here, but when I say get engaged is understand where you are. Call up Improve My Credit USA. We'll give out the number here in a minute. Call up Improve My Credit USA. You actually guide them where to go to get a good, solid credit score, and then your professionals actually sit down and evaluate that with them and find out what types of changes can be made. And not all candidates are good candidates to come on board right away. So the other thing, which I've always admired about Improve My Credit USA, is that you'll actually walk them through that process, and if they are an individual you can help out and walk through and give good credit advice to, you will, obviously for a small fee right there. But if it's somebody who cannot afford, or more importantly is not a good candidate, y'all don't take on individuals just to take them on. You truly take on individuals that you can impact and assist. And again, with that being said, you also have some individuals who might be longer-term prospects, and so you tell them how to get and when to get engaged as well.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, our goal, and I encourage anybody to just get out there and Google our name. Look us up, Improve My Credit USA reviews, and see what you find. You're going to find 100% 5-star reviews. One of my favorite reviews that we got was from a customer, just like you described, who, after we went through the credit consultation, which is always complimentary, we determined that credit repair just wouldn't be the best route for him to go. It wouldn't be worth his money and his investment. So we gave him some guidance, told him what he needed to do to better position him. He actually came back later on and was a customer, but he gave us a 5-star review because we turned him down as a customer. Just about being honest and giving honest direction, and not about making a quick buck. There's definitely some things that you can do sometimes when you're not in position for credit repair to be better positioned to improve your situation. Our number is 281-914-4116, 281-914-4116. And if you call that, all you have to do is ask for a credit consultant to get a complimentary credit evaluation, thorough analysis of where you're at, and what best steps you need to take.
And, you know, for all those listening out there, Joe and I do a lot of business together, you know, me being in the mortgage business, Joe being in credit repair business. You know, we do a lot of business together. And, you know, Joe, let's give out some information right here as far as this goes. What are the 5 most key factors to do in establishing new credit? You know, what obviously we sit down with a lot of clients, both you and I do, and we talk with individuals all day long. And the number one question is, you know, how is credit measured, but what are the 5 most important aspects of me getting a good credit rating? and you and I have talked about this before, but obviously it's a new year, so I want to sort of bring this up again. What would be the number one thing an individual needs to look at in establishing credit and establishing good credit?
Well, there are 5 factors, as you pointed out, and that's also one of our videos that we came up with on our website. So it's a really good informative video. So folks who want more information can go there to kind of get a little more thorough overview. Number one, you want to know how you're paying your bills. The number one category, not a shocker, 35% of your score comes from how you pay your bills. So as long as you pay your bills on time, your current bills, keep current, you're going to be off to a great start. The shocker is that it's only 35% of your score. A full 30% of your score comes from how much debt you are carrying on revolving credit. So one of the quickest things you can do to improve your credit situation, 30% of your score comes from it, is pay down those credit cards. You want to shoot for at least 30% or below of your overall credit limit. The third thing is the length of credit history that you have, how long you've had those credit cards. Don't just arbitrarily go canceling cards because the history is lost. You end up losing 15% of your score comes from how long you've had those credit files. So the longer you've had good payment history, the better. The fourth thing is a mix of credit. 10% of your score comes from having a mix of credit. Ideally, you want to have at least 2 major credit cards, MasterCard, Visa. Stay away from all the little department store cards and the random little cards for a bunch of different reasons. They don't always report to all 3 credit bureaus. They don't always report your limits, a bunch of things like that. Stick with the major MasterCard, Visa, Discover, et cetera, and you're good. 2 of those at least, and you want to have an installment loan, which is just anything that is a set payment for a set amount of time, like a car or a home loan. And then finally, the fifth area is new credit applications, inquiries. You want to be real careful about how often you apply for credit. They're cumulative. Typically over a 24-month span of time, 6 of them roughly is not too much. You will lose some points with each one, but in the 6 range, you're okay. If they start kind of snowballing after 7, you can lose as much as 20 points just from a single inquiry. So you definitely want to be careful about how you apply. There's some specifics in each of those categories that we could go into a lot more detail, but that's the overview.
And that's a great overview right there because we talked about it. You break it down 35%, 30%, 15% on. And 65% of your credit score is based on 2 most key factors, which we talk about all the time. It's pay your bills on time, number 1, and then number 2 is maintain a balance that is relatively small as compared to what your available credit limit is. With those
Absolutely.
2 items, it references 65% of your credit score. The average credit score fluctuates between 350, which I've never seen a 350, and 850, which is the highest you can get on a traditional FICO scoring model right there. So you start looking at that, and you start saying, if you were to do the first 2 items very good, that alone is going to get you into the 600s.
Absolutely. And just to kind of give a quick, when folks say, well, how do I know if I'm a good candidate for, credit repair, or is it time for me to start that process? One, it's a free consultation. Always know where you stand so that you can at least develop a plan and move forward. But generally speaking, what I tell folks is this. It's not how low your score is. I've seen all the way down to a 396. That's the lowest score I've seen. And it's not that the 396 is the bad part. It's are you on your way down or are you on your way back up? Have you stabilized? In other words, if you are currently making late payments, if you're currently continually getting behind and new negative information is hitting you, it's not going to be worth your money. Don't spend the money on credit repair. Get stable. Use those finances to get the bills current because those new late payments, new negatives hitting your credit are going to do as much damage as any removal of any inaccurate negative information. So you want to be stable. Don't worry about the score. Be stable. Once you get there, then you can start focusing on credit repair.
I would absolutely agree. And we tell everybody all the time, it's about what direction you're moving in, whether you're moving up or down. Whatever you're doing, you got to get started. We're coming up against the end of the show. Joe, let us know how they can get started and how they can call you once again.
Absolutely. 281-914-4116. 281-914-4116 is our main line. Or it just says what we do and where we do it. You can go to improvemycreditusa.com. Credit.com. Consumer voted #1 credit repair company in Texas 3 years running.
Joe, thank you very much for being on board today. For all those listening, we're up against a break and the end of the show. I look forward to speaking to everybody tomorrow. Until then, have a great day.